Benny the Brave Bunny. In a quiet corner of the forest, under the roots of an old oak tree, lived a little bunny named Benny. Benny had soft gray fur, floppy ears, and the biggest, brightest eyes you'd ever see. But there was one thing Benny didn't have: courage. Every creak of a twig made him jump. Every flutter of wings made him hide. "Why are you always scared?" asked his friend Lulu, the ladybug, one day. Benny twitched his nose. "I don't know," he whispered. "The world feels big, and I feel small." Lulu smiled gently. Sometimes small things can do big, brave things. That night, Benny curled up in his nest of soft moss, thinking about what Lulu had said. He closed his eyes and dreamed of being brave, climbing tall trees, crossing rivers, helping friends in need. When the morning sun peeked through the leaves, Benny woke up to a strange sound. Rustle, rustle, rustle. It came from the bush outside his burrow. He peeked out. A baby bird had fallen from its nest. "Oh no!" Benny gasped. His heart beat fast. He looked left. He looked right. No other animals were around. The baby bird chirped weakly. Benny took a deep breath. "I can do this," he said. With careful pause, Benny gently scooped up the tiny bird and hopped, hop, 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 to the tree where the nest sat high above. He called to a passing squirrel. "Can you help lift her up?" The squirrel nodded, and together they brought the baby bird back to her nest. That night, Benny told Lulu what happened. "You were so brave," she said, clapping her tiny wings. Benny smiled. "Maybe I am small, but I can still be strong." And from that day on, Benny didn't hide so much. He still jumped at loud noises, but he didn't run away, because now he knew a secret. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do the right thing, even when you are. Now, little explorer, close your eyes. Just like Benny, you are braver than you know. Good night. Luna, the little owl. High up in the tallest tree of the quiet forest, a little owl named Luna blinked her big, round eyes. It was nighttime, her favorite time. The stars twinkled, the leaves rustled, and the moon was full and glowing. But Luna couldn't sleep. She had too many questions. Why do stars shine? Where does the sun go at night? Do trees dream when they sleep? She hooted softly, trying not to wake her parents. But her thoughts fluttered like butterflies. She tiptoed to the edge of the branch and looked out at the world. Everything was calm. Everything was still. And yet, her little owl heart was full of wonder. Suddenly, a voice whispered below. "Can't sleep, Luna?" It was Nibble the mouse, nibbling on a berry. Luna nodded. "I just keep wondering things. I can't stop my questions." Nibble smiled. "Questions are lovely, but the answers will wait until morning." She flapped her wings and flew gently down to the river. There she found Ripple the frog, floating on a lily pad. "Ripple, why do stars sparkle?" Luna asked. Ripple blinked sleepily. "They just do," he croaked, "and they're very far away, too far to worry about tonight." Luna sighed. "Okay." Next, she flew to the edge of the forest, where the fireflies danced. She met Bella, the butterfly, resting on a flower. "Bella," Luna whispered, "do trees sleep?" Bella yawned. "Not like you, or me, but they rest. They breathe slowly, and they wait for the morning." Luna's eyes began to droop. Maybe I should rest too. She flew back to her nest in the tree. The stars still sparkled. The moon still glowed. Her parents were snuggled up, fast asleep. Luna climbed into her cozy spot and pulled her wings around her. She didn't know why the stars twinkled or how trees dreamed, but she knew one thing for sure. The night was full of magic, and her questions could wait. Good night, little explorer. Let your dreams fly as high as Luna's wings. Tilly the Turtle's Slow Day. In a quiet pond tucked between the trees lived a little turtle named Tilly. Tilly liked quiet things. She liked the way leaves floated on water. She liked the sound of the wind brushing through reeds. And most of all, she liked being alone. Most of the time. But today felt different. The sun was warm, the pond was calm, and the world seemed gentle. But Tilly's heart felt a little heavy. She watched the dragonflies zip past. She saw a group of frogs playing leapfrog, and a pair of ducks floated by, quacking quietly to each other. Tilly sighed. Maybe being alone all the time isn't so fun today. She tucked her head into her shell. She stayed very still until she heard, "Hello?" It was a voice, soft and squeaky. Tilly peeked out. A young snail was looking up at her. "My name's Nomi," the snail said. "You looked like you needed a friend." Tilly blinked. "I guess maybe I do." So Tilly and Nomi sat together by the edge of the pond. They didn't talk much. They just watched the sky turn pink as the sun dipped low. They listened to the frogs sing their sleepy songs. They noticed the stars starting to peek out above the trees. And Tilly smiled. "I still like quiet," she whispered. "But quiet is nicer when someone's beside you." That night, under the moonlight, Tilly curled up on her favorite rock. She watched Nomi slowly slide back to her tiny home under a leaf. Tilly's heart felt light again. She wasn't fast. She wasn't loud. But she had a new friend. And that was enough. Good night, little explorer. Even the quietest hearts can feel full when they are gently understood. Milo the Moth's First Flight. in a quiet garden behind a little house, under a broad green leaf, a moth named Milo was about to do something very big. Tonight, he would fly for the first time. His wings were new and soft. His heart was full of questions. What if I fall? What if I get lost? What if I'm not ready? Milo looked up at the moonlit sky. It felt huge. The flowers swayed gently. The stars sparkled quietly. All around him, other night creatures were already busy. He saw fireflies blinking in the grass. A bat swooped gracefully between the trees, and in the distance, a soft owl hooted. Milo took a deep breath. Then came a voice. "You don't have to go high," said Grandma Moth, fluttering beside him. "Just a little lift, a little flap. The sky will meet you." "But what if I don't shine like the fireflies?" Milo asked. Grandma Moth smiled. "You don't need to shine. You just need to fly your way." So, with one tiny flutter, Milo rose into the air, just a little, then a little higher. His wings wobbled, then steadied. The wind brushed gently under him like a hug. He passed a sleeping daisy. He floated over a slow-moving snail. He circled once, twice, and landed softly on a leaf. "I flew!" he gasped. "You did," said a small voice. It was a cricket nearby. "And you looked like the moon." Milo blinked. "The moon?" "Yes," said the cricket. "Soft, quiet, and exactly where it belongs." Milo sat for a moment, letting that thought settle in his heart. He didn't need to be bright. He didn't need to be fast. He only needed to be Milo. That night, Milo flew 3 more times. Each time just a little further, a little higher. He didn't rush. He didn't fear. And when he finally returned to his leaf, he felt full, not of answers, but of calm. The garden glowed gently. The stars blinked above, and Milo curled up beneath his favorite leaf. He had taken his first flight, and tomorrow he would try again. Good night, little explorer. Like Milo, you don't need to shine the brightest. You only need to try, softly, bravely, and in your own time. Nora the Nightingale's Quiet Song. Deep in the forest, where stars peek through the treetops and fireflies dance in the air, lived a young nightingale named Nora. Every evening, the birds gathered on the tallest branches to sing. They chirped, tweeted, trilled, and whistled. It was loud and cheerful, like a forest concert. But Nora stayed silent. She wasn't shy. She wasn't sad. She just liked singing, softly. While others belted bold tunes, Nora hummed gentle melodies. While the crowd clapped their wings to the rhythm, Nora closed her eyes and let the music float like a breeze. But no one seemed to notice. One night, as the birds warmed up their voices, Robin called out, "Nora, why don't you ever sing loud like the rest of us?" Nora looked down. "I just sing differently. My songs are quiet." The other birds chuckled kindly. "That's sweet," they said, "but no one can hear you." That evening, Nora flew away from the noisy branches. She landed on a low branch by the river, where frogs croaked and crickets played. She took a deep breath and sang her quiet song. It wasn't loud, it wasn't fast, but it was full of moonlight and stillness. It wrapped around the leaves, it floated through the mist, and one by one, the forest began to listen. A sleepy deer lifted its head. A baby raccoon paused its play. Even the wind slowed down to hear her soft notes. Just then, the other birds arrived, looking for her. They landed quietly nearby and didn't say a word. When Nora finished, the forest was completely still. Robin whispered, "That was beautiful." Nora smiled softly. "I sing best when the world is quiet." From that night on, the birds always left a moment of silence at the end of their concerts. Just for Nora. Her quiet song became the forest's lullaby. Good night, little explorer. Some voices aren't loud, but they are still powerful, and the world is listening. Felix the Fox's Gentle Game. In the golden hills beyond the forest lived a young fox named Felix. Felix had soft orange fur, bright eyes, and a quiet way of moving. He wasn't the fastest fox. He wasn't the loudest either. But Felix loved games, especially games that took time. His favorite was Leaf Watch, where he'd lie in the grass and watch one leaf float down from a tree, guessing where it might land. His friends, however, liked different games. "Let's race!" shouted Max the squirrel. "Let's climb!" cheered Bella the chipmunk. "Let's chase the wind!" howled Lulu the puppy. Felix tried. He ran. He climbed. He chased. But by midday, he was out of breath, paws muddy, and tail droopy. "I guess I'm not good at games," he sighed. That evening, as the sun dipped low, Felix wandered alone to his favorite tree. He lay down in the tall grass and watched the sky turn orange and pink. Suddenly, he heard a rustle. It was Lulu. She sat beside him, panting. "We looked for you," she said. "Max said you were tired. Bella thought you went home." Felix nodded. "I just like quiet games," he whispered. "I like to think and wonder and wait." Lulu tilted her head. "Show me." So Felix pointed to a leaf above. "Watch it," he said. They watched together. The wind blew softly. The leaf wobbled, then floated down, turning in lazy loops before landing right by Felix's paw. Lulu's eyes sparkled. That was fun. Felix smiled. I told you. The next day, all the friends gathered around Felix. What's today's game? Asked Max. Felix thought for a moment. Then he whispered, Let's count clouds. And so they did. They found cloud dragons, cloud turtles, even a cloud that looked like a flying sandwich. That was Bella's favorite. And Felix? He didn't run. He didn't climb. But he played. In his way. With patience. With joy. Good night, little explorer. Sometimes the gentlest games are the ones we remember most. Penny the Penguin's Small Step. Far away in the snowy South Pole lived a little penguin named Penny. She was the smallest penguin in her colony, with short wings, tiny feet, and a wobbly walk. While other penguin chicks slid on their bellies or dove into the icy sea, Penny stayed near the edge, just watching. She wanted to swim. She wanted to slide. She wanted to do all the things the others could do. But she didn't feel ready. Come on, Penny, called a chick named Theo. The water's not even that cold. It's just a small slide, said Mia. You'll love it. Penny waddled forward, then back. She peeked over the snowy edge at the icy water below. Her heart beat fast. What if I sink? What if I slip the wrong way? What if everyone watches? That evening, Penny sat by herself on a smooth rock, the sky glowing pink and blue. She watched the waves crash gently and listened to the hush of snow falling nearby. Just then, Grandpa Penguin waddled over and sat beside her. He didn't say anything for a long time. Finally, he spoke, his voice soft and warm. You know, he said, I didn't swim until I was older than you. Penny's eyes widened. Really? He nodded. And when I did, it wasn't a big splash. It was just a tiny toe in the water. Penny was quiet for a while. Everyone else is so fast, she said. Grandpa smiled. They are. But fast doesn't mean brave. Brave means doing something, even if it's small, when you're scared. The next morning, Penny stood at the edge of the snowbank again. The water still looked cold. The slide still looked steep. But she remembered Grandpa's words. Just one small step. So she took it. She slid. Not far, just a little. She touched the icy water with one foot, then quickly stepped back. The others had already jumped in. They didn't even see her try, but that was okay. Penny smiled to herself. I did it, she whispered. That night, she snuggled close to her family under the stars. Tomorrow she might try again. Maybe a little more. Maybe even a splash. But for tonight, her heart felt full. Not from doing what others did, but from trying her own way. Good night, little explorer. You don't have to leap far or be the fastest. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is take one small step. Gracie, the giraffe's cloudy day. Far across the golden grasslands, where the wind whispered through tall trees, lived a young giraffe named Gracie. Gracie was usually cheerful. She liked nibbling leaves from high branches and playing shadow games with the birds. But today felt cloudy. Not the sky. It was bright and blue. But Gracie's heart felt heavy, like a rain cloud was following her around. She didn't know why. She just felt quiet, slow, not herself. "Want to play tag?" asked Zara the zebra. Gracie shook her head. "Wanna race the wind?" called Leo the lion cub. Gracie sighed. "Not today." She walked away from the others and found a quiet tree. Its shade was cool, and the breeze was soft. She lay down and curled her long legs beneath her. "Why do I feel like this?" she whispered. "Nothing's wrong, but I feel all wrong inside." Just then, she heard a gentle flapping. Ollie the owl landed beside her. "Mind if I sit here?" he asked. Gracie nodded. They sat in silence for a while. Ollie looked up at the sky. "Did you know," he said, "even the sun takes breaks behind the clouds?" Gracie tilted her head. "I guess so." "It doesn't mean the sun is gone," Ollie added. "It's just resting, waiting to shine again." Gracie blinked slowly. "So, I'm like the sun?" Ollie smiled. "Exactly. Bright, but it's okay to have cloudy days." They sat a little longer, listening to the wind move through the grass. After a while, Zara wandered over. "We brought you a leaf bouquet," she said, nudging a bundle of green leaves tied with grass. Gracie smiled, just a little. Leo plopped down beside her. "We don't have to run. We can just be still." And so they were, 4 little animals sitting in the shade, doing nothing at all except being together. By the time the sky turned soft and golden, Gracie felt something shift. Her heart didn't feel heavy anymore, just quiet and warm. That night, as the stars blinked into the sky, Gracie looked up and whispered, "Thank you, clouds. Thank you, friends. Thank you, tomorrow." Good night, little explorer. It's okay to have cloudy days. Your sunshine is still there, just waiting behind the breeze. Sammy, the snail's special pace. In a quiet corner of a sunny garden lived a little snail named Sammy. Sammy was slow, very slow. While ants marched in lines and butterflies danced in the air, Sammy took his time. He watched the way raindrops rolled off petals. He noticed the shadows moving as the sun shifted. He loved feeling the earth beneath him, one tiny inch at a time. But not everyone understood. "Come on, Sammy," buzzed Bella the bee. "You're always behind." "Can't you move faster?" asked Ricky the rabbit. "You're missing the fun." Sammy just smiled. "I like going slow," he said softly. But one day, the garden held a big event, the Great Garden Race. Everyone was excited. The beetles polished their shells. The grasshoppers stretched their legs. Even the ladybugs practiced flying in loops. "Are you racing too?" asked Bella. Sammy hesitated. "I think I'll just watch." The next morning, the garden buzzed with energy. Flags fluttered, flowers cheered. A trail had been marked from the berry bush to the big oak tree. "Ready, set, go!" Everyone zoomed off, except Sammy. He sat at the starting line, watching the dust settle. Then, slowly, he began to glide forward. Inches passed. Moments passed. Along the way, Sammy noticed things others missed. A caterpillar asleep in a curled leaf. A tiny heart shape on a stone. The way the sunlight made the dew sparkle like stars. He wasn't fast, he wasn't loud, but he was present. He saw beauty in the quiet. By the time Sammy reached the finish line, everyone else had long finished and moved on. But Ollie the owl was waiting. "You didn't win," Ollie said gently. "I know," Sammy replied, "but I didn't miss anything either." Ollie nodded. Maybe the best kind of race is the one where you don't rush. Sammy smiled, and for a moment, the whole garden felt still, like it was matching his pace. That night, Sammy curled into his shell beneath a mossy leaf. He wasn't the fastest, but he had traveled far, noticed more, and felt just right. Good night, little explorer. You don't have to hurry. Your pace is perfect, just as it is. Lumi the firefly's gentle glow. In the heart of the summer meadow, where the grass grew tall and crickets played songs at night, lived a little firefly named Lumi. But Lumi wasn't like the others. Her light was soft, not bright and golden like the others, not fast or sparkly, just gentle, like moonlight through leaves. Every night, the fireflies danced across the meadow, drawing glowing loops in the air. "Come on, Lumi," shouted Flicker. "Let's light up the sky." Lumi fluttered behind them, blinking slowly. The others zipped and zipped, flashing proudly, but Lumi's light barely shimmered. "Are you even glowing?" teased Spark. "You're like a shadow." Lumi felt her wings droop. "I guess I'm not meant to shine," she whispered. That night, Lumi flew far from the meadow, past the pond and into a quiet grove of trees. There, she landed on a soft, mossy rock. She didn't cry, but she didn't blink either. She just sat in the quiet. Then a voice came through the dark. "Hello?" A tiny voice. It was a baby mouse, shivering beside a stone. I got lost," the mouse said, "and I don't like the dark." Lumi's heart beat fast. She wasn't very bright, but she was glowing, just enough. "Follow me," she said gently. She fluttered low, her soft light glowing like a whisper. The baby mouse followed close, step by tiny step. They passed sleepy ferns and rustling leaves. They crossed a log and circled a bush. Finally, they reached the edge of the meadow. The mouse squeaked with joy and ran back to its nest. "Thank you," it whispered. "You were the only light I could look at without feeling scared." Lumi blinked. Not the brightest, but just right for someone who needed her. She floated up and looked out at the field of flashing fireflies. And for the first time, she wasn't trying to match them. She just blinked, softly, like she always had. That night, the meadow seemed quieter, more peaceful, and Lumi's gentle glow lit a path only a calm heart could follow. Good night, little explorer. You don't need to shine the brightest. You only need to shine in your way.